Hey there guys, what's going on? Today we've got another video in our best weapons in Modern Warfare series. Are you sick of getting killed in this game by people with MP5s and M4s? Have you been looking for the perfect SMG but the P90 and the AUG aren't really cutting it for you? I've got a not so secret at all class setup for you that if you haven't tried yet, I probably think you probably haven't been playing the game for the last 3 months. The MP7 is my favourite SMG in this game and the MP5 is still probably slightly better, but I'm more of an MP7 man from way back. Modern Warfare 3 gang, let's go! Also, which gun are you using when you get drafted in World War 3? I think you gotta go with the ACR, my guy. Like, ACR, MP7, something like that, no recoil, good damage, when Iran attacks the US for basically nuking their entire military base. The MP7 has always been one of my favourite guns in these games, and the Modern Warfare MP7 is an absolute beast. Just before we get into the class setup here, let's try and get this video to 5 likes. You guys have been absolutely wild lately. There's been a lot of support in the videos, and that makes me very, very happy. It's always good to see new faces around here. Since we started uploading Modern Warfare videos, since basically the game came out, we've had about 70 new subscribers. That's insane. That's literally like 20% of my total sub goal in the last month. Like, that's pretty wild. So if you aren't subscribed yet, make sure you do hit that subscribe button. Like, what are you waiting for? Make sure you click it, and with those notifications turned on so you don't miss any more of my videos. Right, shameless plug aside, please subscribe. Let's talk about the MP7. So, the MP7 is an SMG with a high fire rate, middling damage, and basically no recoil. It also does have a 40-round magazine. If you've ever complained about the MP5 bouncing around too much, or the Uzi being an actual trash can with a handle, the MP7 might just be the gun for you. If you've not tried it yet, this class setup and attachments are the best ones that I've used so far. I've used other ones and I not really favour them so much, so this is my favourite gun in the game. So let's talk about this setup for it. So starting us off here, my sidearm perks and grenades are the same on pretty much all of my classes, so we'll go over it fairly quickly. My sidearm of choice is the 357 Snake Shot because I'm a massive coward scumbag. Perk 1 is EOD, perfect for stopping those IEDs in Iran when you get drafted into World War 3. Perk 2, Kill Chain or Ghost. President Trumpo's got your back when you get a couple of kills, incoming AC-130s, close air support for his big special boys doing all his work for him. Or, of course, Ghost helps you stay off that radar. That would work too, I guess. And, of course, Perk 3, Battle Hardened. Stuns last between, and I've calculated this very, very carefully, 15 to 25 years in this game, so Battle Hardened lets you see slightly sooner than if you don't have it, so not too bad. And lastly, the grenade setups are pretty personal preference. I like Thermite and the Bouncing Betty, and the tactical slot, if you're the sweatiest man in the universe like I am, Stim Shot. So, in the muzzle slot, starting us off here, I currently don't actually run anything. You could typically run the monolithic suppressor like most guns in the game. It's always a great option in this game. Like, it's usually pretty hard to go past damage range and sound suppression, but for this particular setup, I've not included it. This is an entirely personal choice, so feel free to rip on me about it in the comments because I've got absolutely no idea what I'm doing. At the end of the day, I'd choose between the underbarrel slot and the muzzle slot as well. So I feel like for the MP7, these slots are pretty interchangeable, so do keep that in mind when you are picking your attachments. I've not completely dumpstered the monolithic suppressor though, so I'm just not using it in this class. Next, the barrel attachment that we are going for is the FSS Recon, which is a great barrel that gives us damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control. It's pretty hard to go past these bonuses. Like, you do lose a little bit of ADS speed and movement speed, but it's not really that noticeable with the bonuses we gain from other attachments that we're choosing. The FSS Strike is also a decent barrel, which does give us the damage range and bullet velocity. It's a pretty decent barrel that gets you starting off and will last you very well until you unlock the Recon option. The Strike does give you the damage range and bullet velocity, as I already said, while only reducing aim down sight speed. So, again, it's a very good option to start off with, like I said. The FSS SWAT really doesn't have a place. It's not really worth using, in my opinion. Like, only gives you aim down sight speed for a bullet velocity minus, so some of the other attachments that we're picking up here give you that aim down sight speed anyway, so you don't really have to worry about this one. So, my choice is the FSS Recon barrel. The laser slot is one of my favourite attachments at the moment. The TAC laser does provide you with the aim down sight speed, aim stability, and aim walk steadiness. While its only negative is being a visible laser when you're aiming down sight. It's not around all the time, it's just when you're aiming down sight with the TAC laser, rather than like the 5mW and the 1mW, which I actually don't think the 1mW's visible to other people, but the 5mW one is, but it's only when you're not aim down sight, so it goes away when you aim down sight, whereas the TAC laser only comes up when you aim down sight. So with this set of attachments that I've chosen, you aim down sight very quickly, and it's pretty wild, honestly. Like, you can typically get away with having a visible laser when aimed down sight because you ADS so quickly. It likely won't be visible for very long. If you do tend to get killed by a lot of people that you think see your laser before you walk around a corner or something like that, try aiming at a doorway or the ledge of a wall you think an enemy is about to come from, and then sort of flick up towards them and get the kill. With this set of attachments, you'll love how quickly the MP7 aims down sight, and it is very, very wild, and that's why it's my favourite gun at the moment. So you're probably not going to need an optic for the MP7 in my opinion. The iron sights are nice and clean and lean. Nothing much else to really say here, but if you do actually prefer a sight, I'd sort of go with the GI Mini Reflex and the Cronin LP945. These two are some of my favourite sights in the game. Especially the GI Mini Reflex. I think it gives a really, really good sight picture with having a small frame, unobstructive. You can see pretty much everything on the entire map when you're looking through this bad boy. It is very, very good. No peripheral blockage. But this is, of course, up to you, personal preference and all that. In the stock slot, you're going to run one of two options. I'm a big fan of the FSS close quarters stock for the increased aim down sight speed. You only lose a little bit of aiming stability, so nothing really serious to worry about. You'll always want to get those sights up as quickly as you can. It does give you a massive, massive advantage in this game. But, of course, you can always run the no stock option. I've seen loads of people running around with the no stock for the aim down sight speed and movement speed increases. I'm a pretty big fan of this because you can do big work with it. Just because it makes your recoil slightly worse, that doesn't mean it doesn't work for you. The MP7 doesn't really have too much recoil anyway, so you can really get away with running the no stock. It's not actually that big of an option. It's not really that big of a problem, sorry. Both of these choices are very, very good. So no stock or close quarter stock. I'd say if you were rushing, definitely go for the no stock, but if you play more slowly, go with the close quarter stock. So the perk slot is the same as it usually is. It's either filled by a sleight of hand or it is left empty. I've gone with empty here because I feel like a 40 round magazine is often more than enough ammo to shoot through at least a couple of people before you have to reload. You've usually got time to do a full reload, so I don't think sleight of hand is actually that necessary, but it's always a good option if you've got the empty perk slot available. The rear grip is, of course, my guy, the stippled grip tape. I feel like this is the GOAT attachment in this game. Like, this is GOATed. Best thing in the game. Like, top 10 attachments in Modern Warfare, number 1, stipple grip tape every time. Improving your aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed is always a massive on an aggressive setup, but even if you're playing a little bit slower, the stipple grip tape is all still massively useful. Sometimes you might get taken by surprise. Not by me, of course. Like, this never happens to me, but it probably happens to you. I get it. It happens. You get taken by surprise sometimes. Getting those sights up as quickly as you can has been a massive theme throughout this class, and this caps it off. This is a great attachment for this class. Nothing in the ammo slot either. Similar to the perk slot, I feel like the 40 round magazines for an SMG is pretty plenty. Like, you really shouldn't be needing more than that unless you're inside a spawning ground war and somehow the enemy team actually doesn't know you exist. Like, somehow you're both killing every single person on the enemy team and they don't know where you are. Like, yeah, it's very unlikely that you'll need sort of 50, 60 round mags. So if you are in that situation where you're in a spawn on ground war and they can't kill you, yeah, you can probably take the 60 round mags. That would be very, very cool for you. But it's sort of a bit slow for mine, removes the aim down sight speed and movement speed. So you don't really want that. So just stick with the 40 round mags and you will of course be good. And lastly, the underbarrel is taken up by the Commando foregrip. This is a great attachment in this game. Recoil stabilization, which I believe is horizontal recoil, so improving that makes the MP7 an actual laser beam. Like, it just shoots so straight, only drops a little bit of movement speed, which if you're playing along at home can be boosted by the no stock option. So it really is a win-win. Like, you can, as I said, replace this with a muzzle like the monolithic suppressor, but I've made a personal choice here for more consistent recoil rather than slightly improved damage range. Like, just move your feet. Like, if you want further, like, better damage range, just move towards them. Very, very simple. Alright, so this is our full loadout here. Welcome back to everyone who just skipped to the end of the video where he just shows off the full loadout again. How are you guys doing? Welcome back. Glad you could stop by. This is my favorite gun in this game and will probably be for a while. I'll eventually get a gold once I get fully back into the swing of playing this game. Like, pretty much like 50 hours a day. Got to play the game so much to get gold and everything. It's... So let me know your class setup for the MP7 in the comments below. I always love reading and checking out your classes and so on, so go do that. Plus, if you do want to be part of the new series we did start on Wednesday, make sure you leave a comment with your class below and I'll give it a test out and it might make the series. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this one, guys. Make sure you do hit that like button and subscribe if you're new around here because I would very much appreciate it and it would very much help me out. Thank you very much for watching. Bye!